Alright, so we're here to watch the game, and the first thing you might be able to tell is it's a little windy. So that's going to be a challenge already for some of these guys, is having to deal with the wind. But we're going to see, you know, they rise to the occasion. That's why they're pros. So we're going to see what they do. I'm excited to see what their process is like. Maybe I can get one of them to say something nice to the camera. Fingers crossed. Delicious. Some good looking food right there. Alright, so once I got done just gawking over how humongous of a stadium this is now the new biggest stadium that I've ever been in. It was huge. I wanted to go watch the guys warm up, and Cade York was just doing his thing, as well as Bojorquez. One thing that I really liked to see was just how much these guys went into the wind. I think this is something you younger guys could really learn from. As I was watching, they hit so many balls into the wind. It wasn't until a lot later that they kind of came back and started hitting with the wind at their back. Both groups of specialists began their process into the wind. I think that's just a great learning lesson a lot of the younger guys can get. The next thing I want to look at was how humongous 47 is. Holy crap, he walked out next to Bojorquez, and Bojorquez just looked tiny compared to him. I think Bojorquez is like 6'1", and he just looked like a midget. Next, we got Boswell warming up. Another thing to note, look at this, into the wind. Another thing that surprised me too is that Pressley took most of his snaps with Boswell before he started punting himself. Like, he didn't come out and just start punting. He went and made sure his kicker was warmed up. So that's probably an area I could improve in. I tend to be a little selfish. I like to get warmed up myself. Then Corey reminded me just how humongous his leg was. We got a little miss hit here, but you can just see that's a different height on those misses. So watching that was just like eye-opening for me, because it's not often I get to watch a lot of other punters from this far back. And obviously I'm still pretty close to him, but he was mashing some footballs. You could tell when you gave him the wind, he could just be a completely different animal. Like, his confidence, the power that he puts into the ball, the height, the distance. Some of these are easily going 70 plus. So this is something I think I'd like to see more out of him in games, because what you're going to see is once we get to the game-like situation, his punts don't necessarily look much like this, but it was still really impressive to see, because this is a side of him we don't see a lot. He can really mash the football. So I was just so blown away by this whole thing. So right now it's just cool and windy. The wind's like going away from me. So if I ever see a punt in the back of this end zone, it's gonna be mad, bro. There's like 22 miles an hour wind. So I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be a good game. Everybody's out warming up right now. Everyone's just doing their thing on the field. So we'll see. So we'll just see what they got going on. All right. I'll see y'all when something happens, I guess. See you, Pressley. So next, we got to see Pressley Harvin warm up, and I'll say this, he was notably less consistent than Bojorquez during the warm-ups, and I think that played out into the game a little bit. Bojorquez had a little bit of a home field advantage. He also had the fact that, you know, he's been kicking in this wind for a little bit longer, and like a couple days longer, but when the Pittsburgh Steelers ran out, man, they were just getting booed to crap, boo. It was so funny to me. I don't know why. So then I got to see Mitch Trubisky, and then my favorite coach in the NFL, Mike Tomlin. Next, both teams came out of the locker room, and then they did the opening coin toss, and the Steelers elected to receive the ball in the first half, and the game was underway. And at this point, man, we just got to see everybody in action. I love going to games like this. The energy and the crowd was actually unreal on the opening kickoff, and it wasn't too long before Bojorquez came out and punted, and then honestly not too long after that, Pressley Harvin found himself out and punting, and the battle of who was going to be the better punter this game took a very steep turn as Bojorquez nuked his first ball, and Pressley kind of mishit his. It was also fun to see Mitch Trubisky, because I think it's just so easy to forget how athletic these guys actually are. Also, look at how bad the wind affected this ball. I thought for sure that was going in. Even kind of kicked it to the left, it looked like, and he still couldn't get anything going. Jacoby Brissett also looked really solid. Like, watching him play was honestly pretty cool, because we're both Carolina boys. He's from NC State, the school, so being able to actually see him play in person was pretty cool. The Browns running backs were kind of having their way for the first half, really doing a good job of driving the ball downfield, so they were a huge factor to the Browns' success this game. And then, yeah, I'm just going to let you guys enjoy some of the sights and sounds of the game now. Yeah, so the Steelers actually take the lead back going into the second half, and you can see here Trubisky just barely misses his receiver, and that takes us into halftime with the Steelers up 14 to the Browns 13 after a Cade York missed extra point. Bojorquez was warming up with that little banana punt you just saw in halftime. I thought it was pretty cool, so I just wanted to show y'all. So after the Browns successfully recovered the onside kick, the game was all but over, and with 13 seconds left in the game, Bojorquez pins them inside the 5. All in all, this is a great experience, so thank you guys for coming along. If you like watching these games kind of like from the perspective, be sure to subscribe, and I'm going to be doing more of these in the future. As always, have an amazing day though, and peace.